Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. We begin with a top story around the nation today. An urgent search for survivors underway after a ship hit a bridge in Baltimore, causing it to collapse into a river. Karen Kafa is in Baltimore with more on this unfolding situation.
This morning, our state is in shock.
A stunning tragedy early Tuesday, a ship colliding with Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, causing it to collapse into the Patapsco River. Intense rescue operations ongoing for anyone missing.
The Coast Guard's primary mission right now is search and rescue, looking for any survivors in the water.
The conditions are difficult, right? We're talking about a deep channel port. It's 40, 50 feet of water, strong currents. The weather is windy, the water is cold, and so we certainly worry about those who are in the water.
Video showing the ship's lights flickering twice before veering off course and crashing after, the governor says, the crew radioed that the ship lost power. Governor Wes Moore says it appears to be an accident.
We will get through this because that is the Maryland spirit, and that's what Maryland is made of.
The local community stunned by the scene.
So I came down just to see, and I can't believe it.
And then I seen a picture of it, and I was like, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me!"
For the first time since the weekend, the state of Nebraska is without any type of winter warning, but that's after a late winter storm made travel next to impossible for much of the state. 64 of Nebraska's 93 counties were placed under some type of winter weather alert. The National Weather Service placed 25 Nebraska counties in blizzard warnings through Tuesday morning, thanks to heavy snow and wind gusts as high as 55 miles per hour. An additional 2 counties were put in winter storm warnings, another 37 under winter weather advisories. It started over the weekend, with different regions in the state getting freezing rain followed by Monday snow, mostly in the central third of the state, ranging from as far south as the border with Kansas all the way up to the South Dakota state line. 13.5 inches of snow was reported in Anselmo, with over 10 inches seen in Burwell and 8 inches reported near O'Neill. Roads are also slowly becoming more drivable. As of midday Tuesday, I-80 had reopened in both directions, but there were still some problem areas. U.S. Highway 30 was still closed in both directions Tuesday morning between Gothenburg and Cozad, and State Highway 92 was still closed east of Arnold. No word yet on how many traffic accidents law enforcement responded to over the past 2 days. There was a report at midday of a multi-vehicle accident on State Highway 4 south of Hildreth that had shut down traffic there Tuesday morning. The winter weather is being blamed for a crash involving a semi in southwest Nebraska. Happened along State Highway 23 outside of Eustis, blocking both directions of traffic. No word yet on any injuries, but the wreck shut down the highway for hours while officials worked at the scene. Nebraska's 511 website listed Highway 23 as completely covered with ice and snow at the time. With this winter weather, some residents in northeast Nebraska woke up still without power Tuesday morning. Elkhorn Rural Public Power District said outages impacting towns like Battle Creek and Newman Grove, among others. Crews had been out since 5:30 Tuesday morning trying to get power back on with assistance from nearby Cumming County. No word yet on when power might be back on for residents in their coverage area. So this blizzard and winter storm have moved on, but the dangerous driving conditions still possible. Icy surfaces and blowing snow still being seen all over the state. So how do you avoid accidents in these types of conditions? Kirsten Mitchell has some tips.
We could all use a refresher. So all this water we're seeing right now could turn to ice tomorrow.
Yes, it will be ice.
Driving instructor Pete Dahl teaches defensive driving techniques.
Number one tip for drivers?
Slow down.
But for this practice, we're speeding it up to try to gain back control.
Get on the gas a little bit. Feel that thing slide a little bit?
Yeah.
So then you just let the car grab.
Up next, hydroplaning.
If you feel the car lift and start to move, off the accelerator, let the wheel straighten out, and let the car settle back down and get grip again.
Overcorrecting can lead to spinouts like these.
It looks like he's going way too fast for conditions. Going way too fast. The one looked like cruise control, because it looked like it was an incline. So yeah, you don't want cruise control.
Especially during bad weather, when you also want to avoid changing lanes, leave extra room, and look for escape outs if you lose control.
Where the eyes go, the hands follow. So if you're looking at the shoulder to avoid the shoulder, you're going to drift on the shoulder.
If you do feel you are losing control, what should you do? What's the first step?
Out of the accelerator, trying to keep that car straight, minor adjustments on the wheel. You did a great job of like feeling where the car had control, where it didn't. So when I asked you to push it a little bit, you felt the car start to slide, you just automatically lifted and kind of straightened out the wheel, which is exactly what you're supposed to do.
I passed.
You passed. You did a great job. Flying colors.
President Joe Biden is pushing to lower housing costs, released a plan last week to increase the supply of affordable housing. But the plan comes at a time when housing prices are high and continuing to rise. Jen Sullivan looks at the president's proposal and whether or not it will help in this current housing market.
Housing prices continue to rise. The National Association of Realtors released their February numbers last week, which showed median home sale prices are at $384,500. That's 5.7% higher than this time last year. It's the 8th month in a row prices have gone up, and the price hikes are in all 4 regions of the U.S. It's something President Joe Biden wants to change.
Too many people, the dream of having a good home, it still feels out of reach. I get it.
Experts say prices will likely remain high for now.
I don't think there will be any meaningful decline in home prices in many parts of the country.
It's not just high sticker prices making homes expensive. A 30-year fixed mortgage rate as of last Thursday was about 6.87%, according to Freddie Mac. There's also a high demand right now and low inventory, which drives up prices further. To help with those costs, Biden wants to give Americans an annual tax credit of $400 a month for the next 2 years to go toward their mortgage. He also wants to encourage more building so buyers and renters have more options. But some experts say the cost of land to build is still high.
It's not that the house is not affordable, it's that the land has very volatile economic cycle.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Governor Jim Pillen announced yesterday that he's ordering a second deployment of members of the Nebraska National Guard and State Patrol to Texas to provide enforcement at the Mexico border. The mission being organized in response to a request for emergency assistance from Texas. The request was made through the Emergency Management Assistance Compact. It's an agreement among states to send personnel and resources to assist with disasters in other states. According to Governor Pillen's office, 35 personnel from the Nebraska National Guard have volunteered for the mission. They'll be conducting operations in the vicinity of Eagle Pass, Texas, scheduled to deploy in early April for 90 days. Egg prices are at near historic highs in many parts of the world as Easter and Passover approach. The cost of filling a basket or completing a Seder plate reflect a market scrambled by disease, high demand, growing costs for farmers as well. Global prices are lower than what they were at this time last year, but they're still elevated. And a senior global specialist with Dutch financial services firm Rabobank says he doesn't expect them ever to return to 2021 levels. One major culprit, avian flu. In 2022 alone, more than 131 million poultry worldwide died or were culled on farms affected by the disease. Higher chicken feed costs because of weather and inflation have also impacted egg prices. A company planning to construct a carbon pipeline through northeast Nebraska is walking through their plans with the public. Tuesday morning marked the early stages of the meetings in Albion. Summit Carbon Solutions Carbon Pipeline set to run through 7 counties in northeast Nebraska, starting in Atkinson. The route would take it to ethanol plants, including Valero and Albion, before connecting to the main pipeline in Iowa. The pipeline would span over 2,000 miles in 5 states total. An 8.5-mile stretch of the pipeline had a permit denied last month by Stanton County commissioners, with residents there raising concerns over safety. So commissioners there asked the pipeline to give more information about the project to the public. Informational meetings were held Monday in Holt and Antelope counties. Another meeting planned for Tuesday night in Stanton. An intersection in East Beatrice is back open after water main work. The area at 33rd and Lincoln back open earlier than scheduled. City Water Department crews completed a water main extension under the street just west of the intersection. The work was next to the new Beatrice Elementary School, which is set to open this fall. And the Powerball jackpot continues to grow. There was no grand prize winner. The Powerball drawing Monday night. The lottery's website says 2 players won $1 million each. The next Powerball drawing is Wednesday, now estimated to be $865 million. If the grand prize is won, it would be the 5th largest ever. A winner would have the option of getting the $865 million in annual payments or a lump sum payment of $416.1 million, both before taxes. You can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com. Click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.